Hey friends, welcome to our midweek moment. Pastor Nicole here. So glad you clicked on. Well, this week we started a new sermon series for Lent called Caved In, Finding Light When Life is Dark. And so each week we're going to take a look at a story in the Bible that has to do with a cave and how did that person come to that cave and how are they also metaphorically in a cave? So, this week we talked about the cave of anger and we took a look at the story of Samson, whose life is marred by anger. That dude had anger issues. And so we kind of talked a little bit about what to do when we get angry and how we can hopefully turn our anger into positive action. But I got to thinking about that's kind of like things that we get angry about, like maybe systemic changes and things like that that need to be made. But what about when we're just having a bad day and we're angry? Then what? Because we've all experienced that, right? You're tired, you snap at your family more than you want to, you're had a rough day at work, a rough week at work, a rough season at work, and you just don't have the patience that you normally have. What do we do when that's the kind of anger that we have? How can we move past it? And in small talk this weekend, we talked a little bit about things that we can do. The kids gave great suggestions. If you are in person, taking a deep breath, drinking a glass of water, just having a moment to kind of slow down how you're feeling. One of the things that I notice when I've had a particularly long day or just maybe a rough week is that I just need a little time before I come home to my family. So I might even just sit in my car for a little bit, listen to music, say a prayer, just kind of try to decompress a little bit before I head into, move into mom mode. Because I never want, my work life to impact my home life. I guess it's going to happen, right? But I never want to bring home anger to my kids or my husband because I've had a bad day or a frustrating day. So, one of the things I notice in my life in particular is that when I am not practicing Sabbath, anger ramps up in my life. So, when I am practicing Sabbath well, when I am taking time to recharge physically, mentally, spiritually, I have more patience to get me through the week. I have better processes to release anger before I unleash it on somebody that doesn't deserve it. I mean, taking that time for ourselves is so important. And so if you find yourself in a season of being angry, of not having patience, of being short and snappy, are you practicing Sabbath? Are you taking some time every week to recharge? Even if you can't give a full 24 hours to Sabbath, giving a half a day to Sabbath, a quarter of a day to Sabbath is better than no time to Sabbath, Taking care of ourselves is an important part, is an important part in how we keep anger from controlling us. When we take time to care for our own souls, care for our own spirit, care for our own mental health, we are going to be able to handle those things that come up in life that make us angry a little bit easier. So, are you drinking water? Are you reading a devotion every day or reading some scripture? Are you spending time in prayer? Are you giving yourself plenty of time to rest and to sleep? Are you doing those things that we need to do to take care of ourselves so then our anger that bubbles up within us isn't spilling out in inappropriate ways? So as we kind of continue to think about that cave of anger, I want to encourage you to really work to Sabbath, really work on self-care. It is going to help in how you find ways to release anger and to not have it become a Samson inside of you, right? I mean, think about what would have happened if Samson had done some better self-care. What if Samson had just kind of taken some time to cool down and pause before he went out and exacted revenge? Anger is going to boil up inside of us. It's just going to happen. When it does, and if it spills out on somebody who doesn't deserve it, or even if they do deserve it, we shouldn't be angry with people. Are we taking time to apologize and to seek forgiveness? I wonder what Samson's life would have been like if he had sought some forgiveness. I wonder what would have happened if instead of going right to revenge, if he had said, whoa, I need to apologize for how I handled this situation. It was not appropriate. I let my anger get the best of me. Think about all the things that might not have happened in his life if he wasn't constantly going at people for revenge because he was mad. In our lives, if we can take some time to be humble and to ask for forgiveness when we get angry, it goes a long way. It goes a long way for helping us reestablish those relationships. It goes a long way if you have kids at home of teaching them how to apologize when they have big feelings and are angry. It can help us to create a good cycle of how we might deal with anger a little bit better. So as you're going about your week, if you start to feel angry about something, and you probably will, it's a human emotion, maybe think about some ways that you can care for yourself so that you don't let that anger spill out of you. If it does, think about how you might apologize and find forgiveness or seek forgiveness from the person who you have harmed. All right. Well, I hope you'll join us this weekend as we continue on in our series. We are going to be talking about the Cave of Fear this weekend, and we're going to revisit our old friend, David. So join us this weekend in person or online for that. Have a great rest of your week, and don't Hulk out on anybody, all right? See you next time. Bye.